지금은 청도하고 밀리 왔어요. 갈 거예요.
What is it?
Practice your Korean, everybody.
Why? Tell me about the importance of learning Korean.
The importance of learning Korean. If you're going to be in Korea, you should learn the language. And yes, it's difficult and it will make you cry.
Tell me why you want to live in Korea. Why do you want to be in Korea so that you can learn? You should learn Korean.
Why do I want to be in Korea?
Yeah, so that you should learn Korean. Is that the message that you want to release?
No, I'm saying if you're going to live here for any amount of time, basically longer than a vacation, I feel like you should learn the language. But I feel that way about any place you go. I don't understand how you can live somewhere for a year.
A lot of people do that.
I know, I find it weird.
It's weird.
And there's so much you're missing culturally too if you don't learn the language.
Yeah, listen to her. She's been a great traveler.
I'm trying. But yes, it's really difficult to learn.
Yeah, you get there. There's no single word you cannot read. I read the other day with her. She can read, despite the fact that she understands it, but she can read.
Well, and I think that's the tricky part, right? Because the Korean alphabet is so easy to learn. You can honestly learn it in a couple of hours. And so start off really confident because you've learned the alphabet and you're looking at things and you can read it. Even if you don't understand it, like you're reading it, so you're like, oh, this is okay, I can do this. And then you start trying to speak it and it becomes the hardest thing.
So Korean alphabet is easy to read, but it doesn't account your comprehension of the word.
Yes.
So it's two different things.
It's the comprehension of the word. It's how fast people talk. And specifically, as an English speaker, we have a lot of intonation when we speak, and we move our jaws a lot. That is not the case in Korea. So when they're saying things, it sounds different than you think it's going to sound. When you read something, you think it sounds a certain way, and then you hear the word out loud for the first time, and you're like, I had no idea that those were the same word. Like even now, words I know by looking at it, sometimes when people say them to me, I'm really confused, and then they're confused because they're like, I thought you knew Korean.
I see.
Yes, so learn the language and start speaking as soon as possible. Don't hesitate. Don't wait, because just like some of the sounds I still can't properly form, and I'm messing up words, y'all. So
don't be discouraged. I think the most important thing when it comes to learning a language is to not be discouraged in short term.
yes,
Because the progress is happening under the bridge, under the surface, and where you cannot view visibly.
yes.
So most of people get so discouraged, including me, maybe or two. But it doesn't mean that your progress isn't developing.
Exactly. Wise words. Wise words. And I think it's really important to remember the small wins and actually get excited over them. I get excited if somebody talks to me for more than 30 seconds and I understood everything they said.
Yeah.
And you might be thinking, well, you've been there for 2 years, you should know these things. Exactly. And so get excited over the fact that you do, especially like if you're talking to an older person, because for some reason they are the hardest to understand, which is crazy because they are also the people most likely to pull you into a 10-minute conversation. They're just like, will come up to you on the street, they'll walk with you, they'll be like, walk with me, and they'll start this conversation and you're like, do I know Korean? Because I'm not understanding anything that's happening right now. Nowadays I can get through some of the basics. I don't know, I feel like older people, they're satori, but then older people just have, I don't know, it's thicker, and so it's much harder to understand.
Yes, there are a lot of satori, a lot of things going on.
So
I don't even understand sometimes.
really,
But there are different reasons. So does dialects, different dialects in the state, accent, southern accent. Here in Korea, everything is different. So it becomes much harder to understand.
it's much different, and they use words that they grew up with that maybe a lot of younger people don't use now. So I might not know what they're saying because younger people don't use these words or grammar sometimes. Even, I don't know, I was learning some grammar once and I was so confused, and I asked another university student who was Korean, and they were like, you will never have to learn this.
Right.
And I was like, well, why? It's in the book, it's on my test. And he was like, my grandma speaks like this. No one else will ever say these words to you.
Just like the GRE words I learned, conversation language, but you use on the textbook, and you use on the LSAT exams or something.
Yes. So the next point is the textbook will only take you so far. You have to go out and talk to people, because the textbook is going to have a bunch of things that will get you to pass the test. The topic exam, or is KIP. There's a KIP exam for Korean. So they'll teach you a bunch of things that you will need to know for the exam, but they won't teach you everyday things. So like, even if you're learning like dialogue from the textbook, you're gonna go to the coffee shop and they're not gonna use a single word that you memorized in the dialogue. So talk to people of all ages too, because even teaching kids, they teach me words that somebody in their 30s might not know, because they're like, oh, this is what's cool now, you have to learn this word. Oh, if you say so.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that studying textbook is useless.
It's not.
You have to study through textbook as well as talk to people.
Yes.
So with the words that you studied through the textbooks, you gotta use the words a lot.
Yeah, so like, study the words and then go practice those words on somebody else.
Yes.
And see if they understood what you said.
Yeah.
Because that also excites me. If I say something and when they don't ask me to say it again, oh, I get so excited.
Right.
I said that
The small
properly.
wins.
Yes. My absolute favorite is if I go to like a store and I ask for help. Somebody who works part-time and clearly doesn't want to be there. I love going to talk to them and ask them for something, and if like their mood doesn't change, I get really excited.
It's like they talk to us if you're Korean.
Yes, naturally. Of course, they don't get excited. They don't go, why are you so good? No, they just practically ignore me or like point me in the right direction. Yes, I sounded so natural.
Right.